What's going on, fellow A pluses? It's your boy Adam Perez. I'm back once again with a brand new video for you guys today, as we're set to go ahead and get into my review of Wicked. This will, in fact, be a non-spoiler review. I'm just going to go ahead and give you guys some of my brief thoughts on this film. If you haven't checked it out, please do yourselves a favor and certainly check it out. I had the opportunity to check it out in Dolby Cinema yesterday, and I could not have been more happy with not only the video and color quality, but also the sound quality of my viewing experience. Now, look, man, I've been saying this for quite some time. Wicked is one of those films I have been highly anticipating this year, to certainly say the least. For those of you who don't know, when it comes to my background growing up, there were a couple VHS tapes and movies that I used to watch as a kid back in the 80s and 90s. You know, I talk a lot about when I was with my mom, I used to watch a lot of Return of the Jedi along with Masters of the Universe. But whenever I would go over to my grandmother's house, she used to have this collection of VHS tapes that I used to watch all the time. Three in particular: Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Back to the Future, probably why it's one of my favorite movies of all time, and last but not least, Wizard of Oz. I used to watch Wizard of Oz all the time as a kid. I can't sit here and say I'm a huge Wizard of Oz fan now in my 40s or anything like that, but it was definitely a significant portion of my life, certainly growing up. And so the concept of Wicked came out, whether that have been the novel or the Broadway musical, and I missed it. I didn't read the book. I've never seen it on Broadway or in a stage play. It's something that I to this day certainly want to see. And so Wicked being a movie and me being a big movie buff, I always told myself when this movie drops, I'm gonna finally go ahead and check it out and see what this story is certainly all about. And I did on what's today? I'm recording this on Wednesday. I did check it out Tuesday evening, and man, I couldn't have been more pleased. So let's go ahead and dive into this. First and foremost, man, if you are thinking about seeing Wicked, please do yourselves a favor and see this in the theaters. Don't wait for it to certainly release at home. I had a great movie going experience, to certainly say the least. You know, I am fascinated in how the movie starts off. I was trying to figure out, like, I believe this is a prequel, but the way that the movie itself starts off, it kind of like gives you a sense of like a epilogue to the Wizard of Oz movie, and then kind of goes back into a little bit of a flashback sequence, and then really the whole flashback of the character's life and things like that is really what the entire movie is about. It certainly surrounds Glinda along with Elphaba, who is AKA the Wicked Witch, if you will, in here. And so I thought it was really cool in regards to a prequel journey, getting to see, um, the beginnings of the Wicked Witch, her upbringing as a kid, her journey sort of through wizarding school, if you will, how she gets accepted, how she winds up learning, and really all the characters that she winds up sort of bumping into in here. You know, I gotta say, for me, the standout performances were definitely Glinda, played by Ariana Grande. Just absolutely perfect in here. I mean, the idea of like this perfectionist, if you will, this person that really doesn't shy away from compliments. In fact, goes out of her way to certainly get them. Very much, it was just Ariana Grande just really captured this character beautifully, and I'm so glad that they wind up casting her in it. And when it comes to Elphaba, Cynthia Erivo, I really enjoyed her in here as Elphaba. I thought she did a marvelous job. Performances all around and just incredible voices. I am a sucker for a great musical, to certainly say the least. So, big fan of the musical set pieces, especially the dance sequences as well. And the costume designs I thought were really incredible, especially when she started getting into the Emerald City later on. Just the distinct costume changes and costume designs were absolutely spectacular. Great special effects in here as well. I had a really fun time with this. There are some themes in this movie that I personally was not expecting, to certainly say the least. Like, definitely a lot of societal issues, which I was kind of surprised at. The idea of people judging you by the color of your skin was certainly in here. I think I even heard somebody in the movie say like, "Oh, I don't see color," or something along those lines. They even teased the concept of something as, like colonization, the idea of kind of like somebody coming in and, changing the world around them and stuff, especially when they were focused on things like the wizard himself, somebody that claims to have power or knows what he's doing, but clearly doesn't, and is really trying to live off of this image that he presents of himself, and people just love that strong man, right? Really love that concept of somebody coming in and changing things, hopefully for the better. But you clearly get to see what the motives are once you get a further look into what's going on with Emerald City. It was just really fascinating to me to kind of see what Oz used to be, and the idea now that you get somebody from the outside that comes in, all the vast changes that wind up sort of happening to a particular land and part of society when that person winds up coming in and pretending to be something that he's certainly not. And so I thought the fact that they were able to really tackle issues like that, but also in the world of Oz, I think was really smart, just really incredible writing. And I really felt for a lot of the characters in here. I'm not gonna sit here and say I shed a tear or I cried, but I definitely felt for Elphaba. And the things that the people that pushed back against her, her trying to be accepted, if you will. And then the turn for Glinda in here I thought was really beautifully handled, to kind of see where she begins this movie out at, and where she ends in regards to her friendship with Elphaba. If I did have any complaint, it's probably the idea of that this is a two-parter. I was kind of under the impression going into this movie that it was going to be the full story kind of played out. So my only thing is that while I know there's going to be a part two, this movie ends literally where it says to be continued. So I am kind of hoping that they filmed both movies at the same time. I really don't know how they handled this. Um, um, Filming wise. So I'm hoping that they have filmed both movies at the same time and that we don't have to wait very long for the second part to come out. I was actually kind of surprised at the amounts of humor that were in here. This movie has a lot of charm, definitely made me laugh. There's one guy from Saturday Night Live in here, Boeing Yang. I think his name is Fanny in the movie. Great comedy balance for this film for sure. I mean, I almost felt like every line that he said. He was always that character that as a scene ends, he gets like that final word in, and it just made me crash out laughing like every time. It was just always perfect. So yeah, a really great balance of emotion, humor, incredible depth when it comes to storytelling, beautiful music, great songs, if you ask me, rousing, contemplative, and it really just transfers you into this world of Oz. And I'm really eager to get back. Like I've got a couple of questions that I certainly need answered, in the sense of like part two. Because I didn't watch the play or read the novel, like, will part two focus on the perspective of Elphaba as Dorothy arrives, and like what Elphaba is doing while Dorothy is in Oz, sort of thing? Like, I'm kind of curious as to where that goes, or how the second half of that story is certainly going to play out. Does she learn more magic? Does she read more from the book or the history of Oz to make things happen in Oz as well? What's the road for Glinda in the sense of having accepted and made a great bond and friendship with Elphaba, but based off of where this movie ends, what's sort of her next steps? Does she align herself more with the wizard? Is she kind of helping Elphaba sort of like from the inside out sort of thing, or is she truly kind of turned against her friend in the bigger scheme of things? Like, after watching this movie, it does make me almost want to go back and rewatch Wizard of Oz and see if I have a little bit of a better appreciation for the movie itself now that I have so much more added detail, if you will. But overall, man, I had a really great time with this movie. I had fun. Maybe because I am a musical guy, so I really appreciate the big set pieces and the choreography and everything that goes into putting a musical sort of together. But aside from that, really great character work. Ariana Grande and both Cynthia, I thought did an amazing job in carrying this movie, to certainly say the least. Jeff Goldblum, as charming as he could possibly be as the wizard, just perfect casting all around, if you ask me. And you can't go wrong with Michelle Yeoh ever being in your movie too. I thought her playing Madame Morrible was actually pretty good also. But look, man, I had a fun time with this film. If you've checked it out for yourself, certainly go ahead and let me know. I'd love to discuss this even further with with you guys in the comment section box below. But definitely let me know your thoughts. But until next time, do me a big favor as always, guys. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and keep it A+. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.